Now it's time to visit a place that many of you should easily recognize, Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. I recently had a chance to visit and was able to check out their greenhouse and the amazing tropicals they had inside. If you've looked around lately at some interesting containers or landscapes, you may have seen some things that look very familiar to you, but in an odd place. There is a huge resurgence in this country now to use what we considered houseplants, many times tropicals, out in the landscape, either in beds or in containers. Now, it's interesting to me that styles changed. Back in the Victorian period, well, that was all the rage because all of these tropical plants were coming from various places around the world, and the owners could not wait to showcase them in their gardens, in their containers, and in their greenhouses. Now, the reason for this today, I think, is because tropicals can add a certain pizzazz, certainly in the way of color and texture. The other thing is that they're just unique. It's like you've got something your neighbor doesn't have. And the third thing is that they grow very fast. For instance, take a look at this. This is a Euphorbia. It's called Euphorbia cotinifolia. Now, the reason it's called cotinifolia is it looks like a cotinus or a purple smoke tree in its leaf. And you see the leaf on this, and if you compare it to the purple smoke tree, you'll see what I'm talking about. Can make an outstanding foliage plant in a container or in the bed. You have to remember, the more sun it gets, the more of those deep burgundy colors come through. Some other foliage plants you might want to consider would be some of the elephant ears. And what about this chartreuse one called lime zinger? And then for other foliage plants, you can't forget about the cannas and a close relative, the heliconias, which have beautiful, interesting little flowers on them. And then if we get into some of the other house plants like snake plant or Sansevieria, we all remember those from our grandmother's back porch. They have made a comeback. So when you're thinking about planting your garden, once the temperatures warm up, you might think of some of these foliage plants that are tropicals that will give your garden some real pizzazz.